Just 1 second. Just wait, a couple of people are going to join. Hello. Naresh, connect అయ్యావా అక్కడ? ఓకే. Guys. Yeah. So just quick refresh about our last session. We have talked about legislative data groups, right? Last time we created the legal entities. Then we have defined within that legal employer PSU and how to make it as tax reporting units. Okay, so we have discussed all this. Before that, let me share you the credentials, whoever is connected. Okay, so here are our credentials. I'm giving you both the instances. Okay, I'm giving both the instances. Fine. So now here, let's connect to the second instance. In the instance, there will be a number 873. So whenever we give the instance, you better connect to the instance. You can remember the number, this one, 873 instance. This is latest version, release 12. This is latest version which we are working, release 12. But I don't think so we'll find much difference between release 11 and release 12 what Oracle has provided. So both are similar almost. Go to setup and maintenance. Fine. So classroom people also connected. Fine. Now we'll go for start. So what I'll do is I'll just make all the things are once. We'll go for define one implementation project, and I will define it now. Now go to implementation project. It won't take more than 5 minutes. Next 5 or 10 minutes. Go to assigned implementation tasks. Click done button. Okay. When we go to implementation projects, okay, it seems there are some differences in this version. Fine, no issue. We'll go for first task. We'll go for first instance. 1340 tenths. That I'll find today, and we'll see that it seems in release 12 there are some basic different setups. We'll explain. Fine. So now log into the application. What was our last session? We were talking about legal entities and then working with the legal employer, payroll, statutory. Okay. Now we are going for business units. Okay. So what is meant by business unit? Business unit is nothing but a organization. Business unit is nothing but an organization where the company is going to do the main business operations. Business unit is nothing but an organization where the client is doing the main business operations. What are that? Like sales, purchase, payments, receivings, and so on. So all these operations, wherever your client is doing, we call it as a business unit. So now the client is doing the sales here, purchasing here, payments, and here sales and purchasing like this. Then we will go for define the business unit. Then we will go for define the business units. So business unit is nothing but it may be a sales unit or purchasing unit, or it may be a payments and receivings. This all will be configured. This all will be configured. Okay. Now go to the task. Go to setup and maintenance. Yes, tell me. Just 1 second. Is others are able to hear me? Someone has connected from iPhone, Loknath, Sagar.
Sir.
We can hear.
Just 1 second.
Sir, రావట్లేదు సార్ వాయిస్ అసలు.
ఇప్పుడు వినిపిస్తుందా? నేను ఇక్కడి నుంచి అన్మ్యూట్ లో ఉంది. Fine. Okay, so now it's clear, it seems. Go to implementation project. Now go to the task HCM implementation project. HCM implementation project. Now go to the task. What is the task name? Manage business unit. Manage business unit. Now go to the task, manage business unit. So we'll ask the client, what are the business units you have? Then definitely client will ask us what is meant by business unit. What is meant by business unit? So business unit is nothing but a sales office, purchasing units, payments, receivings. This all comes as a business unit. Okay. So now go to the task, manage business unit. Manage business unit. Create. Name of the business unit. What is the business unit name? Name of the business unit. Ola SR Nagar business unit. So I'm creating this business unit. And what about the reference data set? Which reference data set you want to assign to this business unit? Okay. So I'm going to say common reference data set. What is the meaning of reference data set? Reference data set contains this following information. Reference data set contains the following information. So whatever the information you have in the reference data set, whatever the information you have in the reference data set, like departments, jobs, locations, and grades. This all we will be finding in the reference data set that will be assigned to the business unit. So while creating the business unit, system will ask you which reference data set you want by default. Later we can change by default which reference data set you want. Okay. So now common reference data set. It means in common reference data set, whatever the departments are there, whatever the locations are there, whatever the grades are there, this all information will be available for this business unit. This all information will be available for this business unit. Okay. Save and close. Now what we have done, we created a business unit and we have assigned reference data set. Like this, we'll ask the client how many business units are there. For example, client is telling that I have 40 business unit. Okay. All the 40 business units will be defined successfully. All the 40 business units will be defined successfully. Let me create one more business unit. Ola ESI business unit. For this business unit also, I would like to have common reference data set. I would like to have common reference data set. Save and close. So this is how we can go for creating the business unit and assign the common reference, assign the reference data set. Assign the reference data set. Next, once the business unit is created, how can you assign this business unit to the legal entities? How to assign the business unit to the legal entities? There is a function called assign business unit business function. Assign business unit business function. Yes, Manjunath, if we define the data set as common, then no need to define the location. No. Here, whenever you are creating a location, you will be defining the reference data set, right? So whatever the reference, whatever the locations are defined, then it comes as reference data set. First, we'll define the location and we'll attach to reference data set. Then reference data set will be attached to the business unit. So locations are part of the business unit. That is different. While creating the business unit, system is going to ask you enter the location name. It means, let's say your sales office is there. Let's say there is a sales office in SR Nagar. That location you are going to give. It doesn't mean that if you give the location here in reference data set locations, reference data set will have either one location or multiple locations that will be available. This field is basically where this business unit is located. You said SR Nagar business unit. Then what is the location address? What is the location address? So that we are going to define. So that we are going to define it. So now we have defined business unit. Now what we are trying to do, we are going to assign business unit business functions. Selected scope. How to assign business unit to your legal entity. Select your business unit. Select your business unit. What is our business unit name? Ola SR Nagar business unit. Select. I think this, yeah. This is the business unit. Now, how to assign this business unit to your legal entity? So that's a task name, right? So you have to choose your legal entity and assign. Just 1 second, give me 1 minute. I have to check because this instance is having the access only to for HCM. How to find whether you have the permission to finance or not? Here you can find subscribed. When you choose here subscribed, it will show you, it is showing that you have the permission only for HCM, human capital management. Okay, human capital management. Fine. So now why we required financial is we would like to define the ledger, assign legal entity to the ledger. So we don't require implementation project. Let me use existing implementation project. If there is one implementation HCM and another one is HCM also, if you define the position here, again here also same task. So implementation project is only front mask where we can group our offerings. It doesn't mean that each project is different. Okay. So now we'll go to manage, sorry. I'm just checking here. Assign legal entities. Assign legal entities. Okay, selected scope, and seems we can do it. Yeah, that's an issue. So when I try to create an ledger, system is going to ask me, it is going to show the error message. It is going to show the error message. Okay, fine. So that's not an issue. I'll give you the instance which is having both the finance and HCM combination. We'll discuss. That's not an issue. Yes, Mavia, still ledger we have to talk. Last session we have discussed, right? Ledger is nothing but a group of currency, calendar, chart of accounts, financial information, right? Group of this. That's not an issue. Okay. So we'll discuss that tomorrow. Fine. So today what we have done is just business unit we have created. We have created business unit. Now next we have to go for define the departments. In each business unit, there will be either one department or multiple departments. There will be a one department or multiple departments. Now we are here. Reference data set we will create. Okay. So now each business unit will have the departments. Whenever we are defining the department, system will ask us, your department is available for all business unit or only for your business unit. If you say my department is applicable for all the business units, what we have to do? We have to create our department in the common reference data set. We have to create our department in the common reference data set. Now go to the task, setup and maintenance. Now we are going to create a department. Go to implementation project. Go to the task, manage department. Now go to the task, manage departments. So now go to the task, manage department. So whenever we are defining the department, we'll ask the client, is this department is applicable or you want in all the business units or not? If client says that my department is required for all the business units, then what we have to do? We have to choose common reference data set. Okay. Let me go for create a department. Ola _ finance department. Active status. Context value is nothing but additional fields. It's a descriptive flux field. We'll talk about this later. And what is the reason for creating the department? We can mention the reason. Okay. This reason we have already discussed last session. For every action in FUSION applications, we can have the reason, right? That comes here. And location, where exactly this department is located. Whatever the location we have defined here, starting, that location can be used here. And any attachments you want to do it for this department, we can do. Now we are trying to create a new department. select an existing organization to define as a department. For example, already organizations are there. So here organization means it may be a business unit, it may be a legal entity, it may be all. So these all are nothing but organizations only. These all are nothing but organizations. If you want to make some existing organization as a department, we can go for select this option and we can configure. But now the requirement is we want to create a new department. That new department should be available for all the business units. That should be available for all the business units. So I'm going to select departments. Reference data set is common reference data set. Click next button. Click next button. Ola Finance. Okay. And who is the manager for this particular department? Who is the manager for this particular department? Now client is telling that right now we don't have any manager for this department. Okay. So manager can be assigned for every employee, for every department, for every legal entity and legislative data group. Okay. We'll discuss about that later, manager concept, as well as cost center also. This is to calculate the payroll costing. This is to calculate the payroll costing. This also will discuss later. This also will discuss later. Click next button. Click next button and then save. Then click submit button. Last time we defined the business unit. When we define the business unit, we don't have submit button. It means approval is not required. But right now we have submit button. Right now we have submit button. Submit button means definitely there is a approval procedure. We have to check, go to home page and go to the notification. We have to verify the department is created or not and approved or not. This department has created successfully. Last time I have created business unit, but I didn't check that. We created today business unit, but I have not checked because it doesn't require approvals. How will you find whether approval procedure is required or not? When there is a submit button. When there is a submit button, definitely approval process will be there. Approval process will be there. Okay. So now the department has created successfully. Now this department will be available for all the business units. Okay. For all the business units. Ola Finance department, we said it is available for all the business units. Now what client is telling that I have a department called sales department. I have a sales department. It should be available only for ESI business unit and SR Nagar business unit. I don't want to assign this sales department to all the business units. To all the business unit. Okay. Then how to configure it? How to configure it? So let me go for, we have to create one reference data set. We have to create one reference data set. First, we have to create one reference data set. Yes. Approval separate concept is there, Manjunath. We'll discuss that. We have separate session about approvals. So that time you can ask that. Definitely we'll discuss that. There is a concept, multiple approval, single approval. There is a concept. Fine. So now the requirement is we want to create one more department, but that department should not be available for all the business unit. It should be available only for these two business units. Then what we have to do? We have to create separate reference data set. We have to create separate reference data set. Keep your department in that reference data set. Then assign that reference data set to business units. Assign that reference data set to the business unit. That's what we are going to do. First, we have to create reference data set. First, we have to create reference data set. Manage reference data set. Manage reference data set. What happened? Manage Go to the task, manage reference data sets. Go to the task, manage reference data set. And if we click search button, it will show us what are the reference data sets we have. What are the reference data sets we have. Now common reference data set is there. Enterprise reference data set is there. And other reference data sets are there. Common, already we have discussed what exactly this. Enterprises, if we have multiple enterprises, then it will be used. As we discussed in the initial stage, one application, one enterprise. One enterprise. We cannot define multiple enterprises in the cloud instance. In the cloud instance, if client is going for on-premises, we can have multiple enterprises. Okay. So that's why we are not talking about much enterprise set. We'll talk about only common and our own reference data set. Right now, I would like to have my own reference data set. Ola reference data set. Ola reference data set. This is the new reference data set I have created. Purpose, why we required this? I want to keep my departments in this right now. I would like to keep my departments in this reference data set. Then assign this reference data set to the business unit. Assign this reference data set to the business unit. Go to the task, manage reference data set. We have defined reference data set. Now go to the task, manage. Manage business unit, set assignment task. Last time we have seen this. Just now we have used this manage business unit task to create the business units. Now go to the task, manage business unit, set assignment. Now go to the task, manage business unit, set assignment. Selected scope. Which business unit you want to work right now? SR Nagar business unit. So select business unit name of the business unit. Select your business unit. Go down, save and close. Don't click here, select in this area. Now this is the business unit we have selected. These are the business units we have selected. This is the business unit we have selected. And here we would like to have our own departments. Already common reference data set is there. I'm going to add one more reference data set is there here. So here we are not removing the common and we are adding the new one. Common reference data set is by default available. It doesn't mean that common we have removed and we have added new reference data set. Whatever the departments are created in the common reference data set, those are available here. Those are available to this business unit. Plus additionally, whatever the departments are created in this reference data set, that also available. Okay. It doesn't mean that we are removing the common reference data set and we have added the new one, the common will be removed. It doesn't mean that like that. So common reference data set departments are always available to the business unit. Whether you attach or not, doesn't matter. If you create a department, automatically it will be available. But additional is this. Okay. Now in Ola reference data set, whatever departments are there, that will be available here. ESI. Sorry, SR Nagar we have configured. Let me go for ESI. Again, go to manage business unit, set assignment, selected scope. And select your business unit. Search for business unit. Select your, don't click here because it will open again business unit page. Just select here, go down, save and close. Now whatever the business unit we have selected, we have selected the business unit ESI. For this ESI business unit, what departments you want to assign. Earlier what happened, common reference data set was there. Now we are going to add OLA reference data set. We are going to add OLA reference data set. See. So in ESI business unit, common reference data set departments will be there, plus OLA reference department set departments also available. Both are available in this. This is how we can go for assign the reference data set to the business unit. In the initial stage itself, while creating the business unit, the system will ask you what is your reference data set default reference data set. Last time what we have done, common we have given, right? We said common reference data set. That's why it was showing common. That's why it was showing common. Okay. So now what we have done, we have changed. We have added additionally other reference data set. So go to manage business unit, set assignment task. Now if you look at the heading of this task, do the reference data set assignment, select your business unit. Now we have worked with the departments. Next level will be working with the jobs. Next level will be working with the grades. Okay, how to assign that. In fact, locations also. This. So in reference data set, not only this four information, level of risk, okay, payable payment terms, performance templates, pricing rules, project rates, like this, there are number of options, okay, we have to configure. But those all are comes under financials and supply chain management. Ours is only as a HCM consultant, we'll talk about only four objects: departments, jobs, locations, and grades. Right now we have talked about the department. For example, you want to create one location and go for add this location to your ESI business unit, only for ESI business unit. What do you have to do? First we have to define a location. First we have to define the location. Now go to the task, manage location. Now go to the task, manage locations. We have configured last time. I'm just showing you again. Go to the task, manage locations. Here is an option. So do you want this location for all business units or only for your business unit? Right now our requirement is only for our business unit. Then what we have to do? We have to choose the reference data set. Okay. So create the location, OLA Chicago location. OLA Chicago location. Save. Now location is created successfully, and submit button. It means again approval process we have submitted for approvals, and once the location is approved, then only we can use it. How to find the location is approved or not? Go to the home page. Go to home page. and check the notification. It will show you your location is approved or not. It's successfully done. Okay. Who has approved, how to configure approvals, we'll discuss later. So we have separate task sessions that time we'll discuss. Now, once the location is created, what we have done, our location is created and assigned to OLA reference data set. Now, this OLA reference data set, we have to assign to our ESI branch, our ESI business unit. How to configure this? Now, go to the task. Just now we done departments, right? In the same way, we are going to do the locations. In the same way, we are going to do the locations. Go to the task, manage business unit set assignment task. Manage business unit set assignment task. Already we are in the ESI business unit, right? Already we are in the ESI business unit. So directly we can go to the task. And last time we have assigned the departments to the business unit. Now we are going for locations. Yes. What happened by default in common reference data set, whatever locations we have, that we are right now. What I am doing, I am going to assign OLA reference data set. It means in common reference data set, whatever locations are there, plus in OLA reference data set, whatever locations are there, both are available to this business unit. It doesn't mean that we are removing the common reference data set and we are adding the other one. Common is always available, that we don't need to configure. So common reference data set information by default it is available. Additionally, we have added one more reference data set. So that's how we can assign reference data set, right? Reference data set assignment to our business unit. This is how to create a business unit. Then this is how to assign reference data set to the business unit. You are assigning reference data set means indirectly 4 objects you are going to assign. Out of 4, right now we discussed about departments and locations. The next level will be talking about the jobs and grades. That also same procedure. That also create. If you create your department in the common reference data set, you don't need to assign. That we don't need to do. Just create department in common reference data set. By default, it will be available for all the business units. That we don't need to do again. Again, we don't need to go to this task and do that. By default, it will be available for every business unit. So that is about reference data set creating and departments creation, business unit creation. So today what we have done, we created a business unit, we created a departments, and we have assigned the department to the business unit. But department cannot be assigned directly to the business unit. First department is created, assigned to the reference data set, then reference data set is assigned to the business unit. And reference data set assigned to the business unit. That's what we have done. Create department, assign to the reference data set, assign reference data set to the business unit. That is the flow we have configured today. Department, in fact, locations also we done. Generally, there will be only one location, multiple locations not at all required. Maybe some clients would like to have multiple locations access to the business unit. In that scenario, it is required. Okay. That's about the business units and departments. Next we are going for these 3: jobs, positions, and grades. Jobs, positions, and grades. Okay. So I have prepared one document for this. I hope I have already shared the document. This payroll statutory units, legislative data groups, jobs, grades, positions, and legal entities. Okay. So out of this already we talked about payroll statutory units. We have already discussed about legislative data group. We have already discussed about legislative data groups. This all. So in one enterprise, you can have legal entity, PSU and legal employer, but it should be associated with one LDC. We can have one LDC and multiple legal entities and multiple tax reporting units. This is all we have seen last time practically how it can be configured. These are different scenarios. Now the next concept is define jobs and positions. Define jobs and positions and grades also. First we'll discuss about jobs and positions. Later we'll go for grades. We are talking about the jobs and positions. So when we are implementing Fusion applications to the client, we'll ask the client, do you want the jobs only enough, or you want jobs and positions to your enterprise? Jobs are mandatory. We must define the jobs. It is mandatory configuration. We have to do it for every enterprise. Jobs are mandatory. Positions are optional. Positions are optional. Okay. So in the interviews, this is a basic question they will expect. Is jobs are mandatory or not, and positions are not? Yes. Okay. So here, sometimes in the interviews, they will ask you in which industries will define only jobs, positions are not required. When you are implementing Fusion applications to the service industries, so any enterprise is providing some services to the customers. Okay. In that scenario, jobs are enough. Generally, positions are required, not required. Only jobs are enough. Okay. Only jobs are enough. Any manufacturing industries and all this, they need obviously positions. But anyway, we'll talk about that jobs and positions. Okay. Another important question here is, where do you configure your client is required only jobs and positions, or where do you find, yes, this client is using only jobs or not? So when you are doing the initial implementation, initially when you are implementing Fusion applications, establish enterprise structure, right? That's an implementation. So now go to the task, establish enterprise structure. That's an initial implementation. We are going to do it, right? So go to the task, establish enterprise structures. We have already discussed this, how to configure enterprise structure. Okay. So when you choose your enterprise structure, configure jobs and positions. Here we are going to configure. You want to have the position or you want to have only jobs. I want to use jobs and personal supervisors, or no, yes, I want to use the positions also. So here we will go for configure, or we can identify. Here we can identify the client is configured for both jobs and positions or not. Sometimes in the interviews they may ask you, how will you find your client is using only jobs or positions in the current instance? So this is the setup we have to verify. Okay, this is the setup we have to verify. But generally nowadays every clients are going for both jobs as well as positions. Okay, so as part of initial implementation, we specify whether client will use only jobs or they want to go for jobs and positions. While creating the job, basic details will configure. Nothing but a job name, effective start date, reference set is nothing but a reference data set, job reference data set, job name and job code. These are basically will configure it. Job code must be unique within the set. Okay, so whenever you define the job in common set, what happened, your job is available for all the business unit. As I told just now, this is right now we are here in job reference data set. While creating the job, definitely system will ask you this job is under which reference data set, under which reference data set. Okay, if you create your job in common reference data set, what happened? Your job will be available for all the business unit. But if you define your job under this reference data set, polar reference data set, then this is available only for these two business units. This is available only for these two business units, because this reference data set is assigned only for these two BUs, only for these two BUs. That is common reference data set and our. While creating the job, system will ask you, is your job is benchmark job or not? This is just for information purpose. It is not in fact mandatory. So whenever we are creating one job, system will ask us, is this job is benchmark job or not? What is the meaning of benchmark job? Benchmark job represents other jobs, and it is used for salary service in the market. So some jobs you might have seen, like sales specialist or data scientist or CFO or CEOs, like these all are benchmark jobs. For these benchmark jobs, generally agencies will do some survey regarding the salaries, how much salary ranges they are paying across the enterprises. That is just for informational purposes. So surveys will happen. So is your job is going to come as a benchmark job? Like that, system will ask you. So while creating the job, system will ask you, is it benchmark job or not? That also again, it is only for informational purpose. It's again only for informational purpose. Okay. Next, progression information. Whenever we are defining the job, system will ask us, what is the progression job? Progression job is nothing but a next promotion job. Promotion job. Let's say I'm defining three jobs here. Let me take simple. Job name is three jobs we have. Finance analyst is one job, clerk is one job, cashier is one job. Three jobs we are going to define. Okay. So now when I am defining the cashier job, I can select clerk is the progression job. It means if we hire an employee as a cashier, in future, if we want to give the promotion to the cashier, which job is next progression? That will be a progression job. While creating the clerk job, we can give finance analyst is a progression job. It means that if you hire an employee as a clerk, okay, if you talk about the employee career in the enterprise, so what will be the next progression job? Finance analyst. After some time, if we want to give some promotion to the employee, then system will suggest we can make the clerk as a finance analyst. It doesn't mean that we must do the finance analyst. Of course, it is optional. For example, you might have hired an employee as a cashier and you want to directly give the promotion to finance analyst. You can do it. That's not an issue. But system will show you cashier is the job. For this, what is the progression job? Clerk. For the clerk, what is the progression job? Finance analyst. Like that, system will show the employee career ladder. Employee career ladder. So that's what we call it as progression job. So what is the definition of progression job? A progression job is the next job in the career ladder. In the employee career ladder, progression job is nothing but a next job. Progression jobs enable you to create a hierarchy. As I told right now, it is going to define the hierarchy and it is going to provide the list of values for the job field. When you are doing the promotions, when you are trying to promote the worker is nothing but an employee. And when you try to transfer an worker, whenever we try to transfer a worker also, it will be used. Promote worker, transfer worker. Promote worker, transfer worker. That's progression information. Next. Just now I have explained about 3 jobs, right? Finance analyst, clerk and cashier. Same thing here, 3 examples we have taken. Another one, junior developer, developer and senior developer. So senior developer is the uh, highest one. Within that we will find developer. Within that we will find junior developer. Within that we will find junior developer. Okay, grades we'll talk about later. So that's about the jobs. Now we are going for positions. Now we have talked about the jobs right now. Now we are going for positions. So in the interviews also they will ask you, how can you suggest the positions to the client? So when you say positions are required for the client and jobs are enough for the client. Okay, so positions are typically used by the industries that they want detailed approval rules. This word is important. Approval rules we will find in the jobs also. For example, what client is telling, if cashier submits something for approvals, obviously it goes to clerk, and clerk will go for approvals, and clerk will go for approvals. Okay, and if clerk submit, it will go for finance analyst. That's a basic approval, but we would like to have detailed approval process. Whenever your client is expecting detailed approval rules, when I say detailed approval rules, you can configure multiple approval rules based on some amount, or based on the location, or based on the positions. Like that we can configure. Okay, positions are typically used by the industries that are detailed approval rules are required. It's where exactly the positions mainly used is when you want to maintain the budgeting and headcounts, are having turnover rates. So the following image will show you in the retail industries how the positions will be there. The retail industries. Store manager is one of the position. Assistant store manager, cash supervisor, frontline cashiers, 10 members, 10 positions. Service desk cashier, 3 positions. Layaway cashier, 2 positions. Like this we will find. Like this we will find. So these are the positions we are going to have here. So these are the positions we are going to have in the retail industries. Same thing we'll find in another industry. Okay. Now this image is going to give more clarity about the jobs and positions. In the hospital industry, in any industry, first jobs will be defined. Within the jobs, you will find the positions. Within the jobs, will find the positions. Okay, it's not only in hospital industry. Without job, no positions. Without job, no positions. First, we have to define the job. Then we have to define the positions. So in one job, we can have either one position or multiple positions. If we look at in the hospital sector, if we are implementing FUSION applications to the hospital, let's say we have care hospitals and Apollo hospitals, they have some thousands of employees, right? Apollo hospital, Apollo Hospital is having some thousands of employees. Okay. Now we want to implement this Fusion applications to the Apollo Hospital industries. Now we'll ask this client, what are the different jobs you have? Surgeon job is there. Okay. So within that surgeon job, cardiac surgeon is different, neural surgeon is different, general surgeon is different. So these are the three positions comes under this particular job, comes under this particular job. Nurse job is there. Within the nurse job, registered nurse, licensed practical nurse, nurse aide. These are the three positions within the nurse job. Then intern job is there. Within the intern job, we have cardiac intern, neural intern, and general intern. Okay, cardiac intern, neural intern, and general intern. Okay, so like this, we'll ask the client what are the jobs you have, we'll configure. Then within that job, what are the positions comes? What are the positions comes? Without job, we cannot define the positions. Without job, we cannot define the positions. So jobs are mandatory. Within that job, we can have either one position or we can have multiple positions. That is jobs and positions. Then while creating the job or while creating the position, system will find or a system will show some lookups. What is meant by lookup? Lookup is nothing but a list of values. Lookups are nothing but a list of values where we can provide some values to the user, where we can provide some values to the user. Lookup is nothing but a list of values where we can add some values. Okay. So here I have given the example for the position. Clerk job is there, senior clerk and junior clerk. These two positions we would like to define under the clerk job. Next, cashier job. Within the cashier job, we would like to define these two positions. Okay. Like that, first we will create a job, then we will go for define the positions. We'll create a job, then we'll go for define the positions. Okay. So while working with the jobs and positions, we'll find something called lookups also. Lookup is nothing but a list of values. Lookup is nothing but a list of values. Let me show you how it looks like. How to create job and position we'll discuss tomorrow. I'll just show you how the lookups looks like. It's very simple concept. People from EBS background, they can understand. It's like same concept. This is, for example, this is one of the lookup. Lookup is nothing but a list of values which are given by Oracle. So these values, we would like to go for attach. Some more values I want here. New values I would like to attach here. Then we can do the lookup. Lookup type is nothing but, lookups is nothing but a list of values. Whenever you want to add the values to the list, we can add. But lookups are three types: standard, user defined, extension. Standard, user defined, extension. Standard lookups, what we can do is, we cannot add the new items, we cannot delete the items which are given by Oracle. Standard lookups, we cannot add the new items, means new values, and we cannot delete existing items, means we can't delete the existing items also. That is about the standard. We cannot add new values and we cannot delete existing. For example, true or false is there. That will be always same. We can't delete existing one and we cannot add new one. Yes or no is there. These are the standard lookups. User defined lookups means you can add new values if you want. and you can delete existing values. For example, this is a user defined. So these are given by Oracle. These values are given by Oracle. So these values we want to go for remove. Yes, we can delete. For example, vice president, I don't want. We can remove. And you want to have the new one? Yes, we can have. If the lookup type is user type, then we can add new items and we can delete existing items. That's nothing but a user defined. Extension is nothing but we can add new items, but we cannot delete existing items. We cannot delete existing items. So if the lookup type is extension, we can add the new items, means we can extend, but we cannot delete existing items. Whatever the items are given by Oracle. For example, if this lookup type is extension, what is the meaning of extension? Existing values cannot be removed, but new values can be added. You want to add new values? For this, we can add. So like that. So whenever there is a lookup, first we have to see what type of lookup. Is it standard lookup? We can't add new items. We can't delete existing items. Is it user defined? Yes, we can add new items. We can delete existing items. Is it extension? Then we can add new items, but we cannot delete existing items. Extension means we can add. Extension means we can add. So this is about the jobs, positions, and while working with the jobs and positions, we'll get the concept of lookup. Okay, fine. So we'll discuss tomorrow how to create the job and how to create the positions. While creating the jobs and positions, how to work with the lookups. We'll discuss that tomorrow. Yes, Sagar, definitely. I'll share this document, both. I'll share you the Word document as well as Excel sheet. Both the document I'll share with you. Everybody can go. And I'm going to share everything will be communicated through the WhatsApp group. Contact Naresh and keep your number in the WhatsApp group and be updated all this. During our entire course duration, everything will be communicated through the WhatsApp. Okay. Next, when you are doing the practice, even if you get a small doubt, please put a voice message immediately. Please put a, yes, Mavya, please drop your number to Naresh. You have the Naresh number, right? You please drop or send an email to Naresh your number. He will keep it. I think you are in evening batch, that they will shift it. Okay, fine. So please put a voice message and I'll go for do it. Thank you. So tomorrow, same meeting ID. Tomorrow, we'll talk about the jobs creation, position creation. Thank you.